Epstein case, victims slam political warfare over grand jury transcripts. Imagine being a victim of one of the most heinous crimes in recent history, only to have your trauma exploited for political gain. This is the harsh reality for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse, who are now speaking out against the Justice Department's request to unseal grand jury transcripts, citing a lack of respect and political warfare. But here's where it gets controversial. The victims are not just fighting against the release of these transcripts. They're also fighting against a system that seems to prioritize protecting the wealthy and powerful over their own well-being. Two brave victims have come forward, albeit anonymously, to express their outrage and frustration with the way the Epstein case has been handled. In emotional letters to the court, they condemn the Justice Department's request, stating that it's nothing more than a political ploy to further traumatize them. One victim wrote, "I am not some pawn in your political warfare. What you have done and continue to do is eating at me day after day as you help to perpetuate this story indefinitely." Another victim argued that the priority has only been on protecting wealthy men, saying, "I feel like the DOJ's and FBI's priority is protecting the third party, the wealthy men, by focusing on scrubbing their names off the files of which the victims know who they are." While neither letter explicitly requests that the transcripts be kept under seal, both victims strongly urged the judge to take all necessary precautions to conceal their identities. In fact, one victim suggested that a third party review the release of the documents to ensure that no information related to the victims is revealed. The other victim told the judge that it's an utmost priority to redact any information that could identify them. These emotional letters reveal the clear frustration and anxiety that the victims are feeling towards the administration's handling of the case. As one victim wrote, "I appreciate your time reading my short thoughts and feeling, and my anxiety and frustration is not aimed at you, obviously. It is aimed at the very government here, the ones asking to release these transcripts, exhibits, etc., of which the victims are not privy to, while they have concluded that there is nothing more to see on the files they hold. Yet no one has seen them but them." The Epstein files have become a mounting problem for the Trump administration, with the demand for their release increasing over the past few months. But the Justice Department and the FBI have struggled to release the material, requiring heavy redaction to protect victims and witnesses. The story took a surprising turn in February, when Attorney General Pam Bondi promoted the release of the documents, giving out information in binders to right-wing media influencers at the White House. However, after 2 months of promising to release more information, the administration went quiet. CNN recently reported that in May, Bondi had briefed Trump on the files, and his name appeared several times. The Justice Department asked the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York to unseal grand jury transcripts in the investigation on July 18th. The department also asked a judge in the Southern District of Florida to release grand jury transcripts, but the request was swiftly denied. The judge overseeing the Justice Department's request has asked the government additional questions to answer before Tuesday as to why he should grant their request. And this is the part most people miss. The victims are not just fighting for their own rights, they're fighting for the rights of all victims of sexual abuse to be treated with dignity and respect. So, we have to ask, is the Justice Department's request to unseal the grand jury transcripts really about seeking justice, or is it just another example of political warfare? We want to hear from you. Do you think the transcript should be released, or should the victims' identities be protected at all costs? Share your thoughts in the comments below.